full day at the vets. We had a really good day at the vets because 2 animals were treated and they had positive outcomes. But right now we are racing a storm home because we live 15 miles down a dirt road and our home is not accessible when it is raining. What's it like for you when you have to race a storm home to get us down the dirt road?
Well, it's pretty stressful. We have rain behind us in the mirror, rain in front of us, right headed our way. We have 2 alpacas and a dog. So if we get stuck, I have to hitchhike a ride or walk. If I have to walk, that's about 2.5 hours in the mud with my new shoes. So I wouldn't be happy about that.
Since our home is so remote, it takes about 2 hours one way to get to the vet.
Samson got his cast off. No more cast for Samson. He still has to stay in a confined space, but he gets to start going on walks with the leash.
We recently had a mama alpaca develop an abscess in her cheek, and like you saw, our pup Samson is recovering from a broken leg. We're so grateful for the Prescott Animal Hospital and all the care they provide.
So we're driving the van, which is not 4-wheel drive, and we have road tires on this van. So what I've learned living out here is you just have to drive much faster to stay on top of the mud.
So here's the big hill. This is one of the biggest challenges getting to our property in a storm.
We got it. We made it. That was fucking stressful.
So just on the other side of the hill, the roads are substantially worse. It's way more muddy and we're sliding all over. So that's the thing with this road is that 1 mile can be completely dry and untouched by the storm. And then the next mile could be a freaking nightmare. So this is always like the tensest time after we've been gone from the farm. Anywhere we go is at least an hour and a half away. And so, we're gone for a long period. And for me, I just can't wait to get back home and be with the animals. And then we have to go through this crazy vision quest with the road just to get home. Like we literally have to face like all our fears and grip the seat and be like, are we going to make it? Are we going to get stuck? Am I going to have to stay here with the animals in the van so Dave can walk home and take care of the animals back at home? And it's getting pretty sketch.
Roll your window up. Hurry. Oh yeah.
Shit.
What do you think of that shit? We're doing it.
I am hunkered down because I feel sick looking at the road. It makes me way too anxious.
I don't think you would have thought we'd make it this far.
No. Dave is saying that he cannot believe that we've made it this far without getting stuck yet. It's literally that intense.
Even though the remoteness of our property provides all kinds of limitations and challenges for us to overcome every day, we continue to love it out here. We get to experience the broad horizons and exquisite sunrises and sunsets every single day. We are at about 5,900 feet elevation. Our property is diverse, consisting of both grasslands and a rich juniper forest. We practice permaculture design, which has given us the best foundation to be good stewards to both the land and animals. We have no neighbors. We hardly ever see anybody but each other. We are greatly outnumbered by alpacas, and it's a really great lifestyle. I hope you enjoy experiencing it through this YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.
So it takes me, depending on if I have to do water or not, between 2 and 2.5 hours, 7 days a week to take care of our herd, feed, poop, check minerals. I make eye contact with every animal every day because eye injuries are very common. So eye injuries happen from wind, dirt blowing in their eyeballs, and then they scratch it, and then it turns into an eye injury. So about 2 to 2.5 hours typically. Also, when I'm breaking and shoveling poop, I'm looking at the consistency of it to make sure there's nothing wrong with it. What I mean is, oftentimes it gets mushy, sometimes there's diarrhea, So we have to identify which animal is sick. Sometimes they're constipated, so it might be a little more clumpy than normal. So there's a lot of things that doing morning chores yourself and not having a hired hand do it, in my opinion, it's a big part of herd management and herd health. So as I'm shoveling, I'm just looking at the poop. And oftentimes, when I get a wagon full of poop, I take it right to the garden and put it on the plants too, because it's a really balanced, accessible nutrition for the plants. Like nitrogen, it's not too hot. There's no weed seeds in it, so it's great to use right away. So doing chores supports my body in a sense that I'm always moving. I do not lead a sedentary lifestyle at all. Never have, never will. It's just something I enjoy doing, and it's kind of like a moving meditation for me, being out doing chores, shoveling poop, interacting with animals, looking at nature, watching the sunrise, watching hawks fly around, coyotes, antelope, elk. Anna, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Nice sized male, isn't he?
Yeah, it is.
So I want you to do a really nice, whatever seems to fit his body the best for his head. Because last year we just left it out. Got too much on the cheeks, maybe.
Yeah, so I love his top knot.
Yeah, maybe
I would
leave
trim down around his eyes,
Yeah.
just so that he can see, but leave that whole top knot.
Maybe
And
He's so handsome.
Way better in the bottle.
He's not gonna
burped in
spit.
my face.
He burped in her face. All right, come on.
I didn't look. Hang on, let me just check his teeth really quick. I sit him up just so I can see him. So then what you do is you bring this over here, and this over here, this over to the bag, but that's okay, doesn't matter, I'll just tuck this back in.
Yeah, and
And roll it right.
It's a little noodle.
And there you go.
So cute. Yep. Come on, buddy. Want me to run with him?
Yeah.
Come on, buddy. Come on, come on. He's not
The little
My babies.
Aww. They're so cute. It's like they know their brothers.
Thank you.
that?
Maybe fade this up a little,
Yeah,
and then just kind of leave the cheek.
yeah. Yeah, because his halter's right there. Yeah, I can just do that and come straight down here,
Okay.
and it'll be underneath his
That's a
neck.
good boy,
And
Stan.
then just try to leave. I thought I was, but I
Okay,
wasn't.
be a good boy. Mommy loves you.
I worked with him a lot on the.
He has a lot of fiber on him.
We actually might use, we might use that.
Maybe.
You get two black? Yay. I like two black better than blue black. Oh, he's so handsome. It's okay, buddy.
I didn't expect this fiber to look this nice before because I couldn't get into it.
He has some gray in it, huh?
Do you have a bag for him?
No, I don't have it ready yet.
All of our own lineage.
He's chewed cud the whole time but hasn't spit.
That was my goal.
He's not
I
really
don't want to
like.
buy anybody else's.
I've worked with him so much. He's
That's
just
a good goal, isn't it?
really
Yeah.
special. Yeah.
Yep.
Because we pulled you from the womb, dude. As that tornado was coming.
Did I have to yank him because you didn't have a swing?
His legs are already let loose for whenever you're ready to get the chest.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to put him in with his mom or just let him go?
Yeah.
I guess he's going, huh? Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Cacao. You look so handsome.
Yeah.
Cacao. Cacao. Where'd all your fiber go, dude? That's my cool boy. That's my cool boy. Cacao. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Kisses? That's my cool boy. This year we harvested 300 pounds of alpaca fiber on shearing day. That is a huge amount of fiber to be working with. And that's exactly what I do. I hand process all the fiber myself, and then I transform it into beautiful wearable art through the ancient primitive technique known as felt making. I'll go ahead and show you what a beautiful alpaca blanket looks like. So this is a blanket, and a blanket is kind of like the torso area on the animal, not the belly, but like the top of the shoulders, the top of the hips, and the back. It's considered the prime fiber in the alpaca industry. And this is a black one from one of our female alpacas. Her name is Helona. Helona is joining our breeding program this fall. She's never had any babies, so we are a fully operating alpaca ranch. We raise, breed, and sell alpacas. And then we're also a hand mill because we do not outsource any of our fiber to be processed by anyone off the farm. It's all done here with these hands. So we raise the animals, we care for them every single day, and then we do have help on shearing day. We have some shearers come in. As you can see in those videos, we had an excellent team of female shearers this year, and they'll be back with us next spring. So here's a beautiful alpaca blanket. So again, it's off kind of that main torso area. And what I do is I normally hand process the fiber out in the garden, meaning I wash it out in the garden with rainwater. And I'll attach a link for a video showing how I do that so you can check out the whole process. So after I wash the fiber out in the garden and it dries, it's time to card it. So carding it is kind of like when you brush your hair and you get all the snarls out and all of the hair is combed and going in the same direction. That's exactly what this drum carder does. So I like to separate the fiber a little bit just by pulling it apart with my hands. And then I start carding. So the whole process of, working with the fiber, washing it, and making art is super sacred to me, and it's also sustainable. So I do my best to stay in alignment with nature. And I'm not perfect at it. I'm still learning, and to be quite honest, I haven't found anybody in our country doing what I'm doing. So in a lot of ways, I'm kind of carving my own river to the ocean. I'm finding my path and I'm letting the fiber teach me. So a big part of my journey has been to actually ignore what other people are doing and what the accepted norms are in the alpaca industry and in the alpaca community. And I say that without judgment. But for me, I just like to learn with my own hands. I like the fiber to teach me. I don't like to approach the fiber like I already know everything about fiber because I see what other people are doing. That's not my vibe. And I wouldn't be making the art that I'm making if I had been following what everybody else is doing. So I like to approach the fiber as a student, as a humble student, and allow the fiber to teach me. Now, I am a permaculture designer. I'm certified in permaculture design by Earth Activist Training Organization. And, one of the principles with permaculture design is that wastes are resources and that we should create systems that mimic nature and natural systems. So if we would have sent our fiber out to a mill, I wouldn't have had any control over the wastes and how those wastes were being handled. So by processing the fiber myself and allowing it to teach me, I maintain control over this resource
and I get to work with the waste how I feel called in alignment with permaculture design. So all of our waste here, the water and any coarse fiber that's not ideal for art, it's reintegrated as resources through the garden. That's called the closed loop system, right? So we're not throwing any fiber away, we're not sending anything out to landfills, and the fiber stays on our farm the entire time. It never leaves our farm until I make a beautiful item for a client and ship it to them. We'll do a little bit more, and then I'll show you what the fiber looks like after it's been carded. So it's easier when your drum carder is full to get all of the fiber off. So this is a little bit light in that regard. So it'll be a little bit harder for me to get the fiber off. So again, this was fiber that I washed out in the garden. I washed it with rainwater and cassatil soap. And then the water from the fiber, the water from washing the fiber, and the water from rinsing the fiber was repurposed in the garden to water the peach tree and the other things we have grown. And there it is. A big fat bat. And so after you have your fiber in a bat, you can felt it into a bomb-ass hat like I'm wearing here, or you can spin it. So I am a hand spinner. I love spinning yarn. You can see this is hand spun yarn here, being worn as a belly chain. I wear yarn as necklaces, bracelets, or any way that I feel called to use the yarn, because again, I'm just letting the fiber tell me what it wants to be. I'm not controlling the outcome. I'm being the student. Would you like to see me spin some yarn? So when I'm spinning yarn, I'm really intentional about it, and I don't want my yarn to look like it came from a machine. So I don't even try to make it look like it came from a machine. My yarn is woman spun, and it will always look that way. So if you want machine looking yarn, you can buy that from a mill or a craft store or something. But if you want wild, primitive looking yarn, you can reach out to me and I'll spin you some up. So I've got my leader coming through, and I'm gonna attach my fiber to this leader. Give it a little spin, and we'll get it going. So in spinning, there's only two motions, drafting and twisting. So drafting is this pulling motion that I'm doing with my left hand, and then the spinning wheel is doing the twisting. Spinning is very meditative. And even though I love to spin, I'm most passionate about felt making. So the hat that I'm wearing right here is felt. All of the items on the wall over here are felt. So that's pretty special. I'm gonna do a full tutorial on hat making coming up in October, and I will show you how to make a felt hat from start to finish. you can see that spinning is fairly easy. Definitely easier than I expected it to be when I first started learning. And I was very blessed because this spinning wheel was passed down to me from our mentor, our alpaca mentor that was raising alpacas for 29 years before she retired. And at that time of retiring, she passed down a lot of tools to us. And I'm very grateful for the tools and the knowledge that she has given us. I definitely would not be where I'm at on my fiber journey if it wasn't for our mentor. So here's some beautiful yarn, one of a kind, can never be duplicated. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me in the fiber studio, and please don't forget to subscribe. I'll be sharing a lot more tutorials in the near future.